Hey. Welcome to the TTP Field Manual podcast. This is ORKTOBER special episode. We might be a little bit crazy because of being under the influence of the war. Anyway, hey, TTP Field Manual podcast. It's Joshy. With me, usually as always, is Jonny. How are you, mate?
Oh, you know I'm here.
Oh yeah, you know you're here.
Now let's do this.
Let's do it. I'm going to be slipping in and out of orc accent the entire episode. Just putting it out there.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. What? Aussie orc? Oh, no. No. G'day, Krumps. Now, how you been, boo? Good.
No, pretty
how
good.
How are you?
Oh, God, are we going to start like this?
No, I did that on purpose.
Oh, you had me worried for a second there. But no, I'm doing all right. We're here. We're at it. We're getting things done.
Oh, yeah? What are you getting done?
Oh, just throwing together a quick list for today as we speak, so...
Sitting in the back of the class asking the nerd to borrow their homework.
Small bit.
Small bit. Do you want me to send you through, my 3 lists so you can, copy?
No, that's cheating. You know me.
That's we don't cheat here. We don't fudge dice rolls. We don't use our stratagems in the incorrect phases. We don't equip war gear out of legality.
No, never. Why would we do that?
Never. Probably because we haven't read the rules properly. Other than that, we don't do that. We're good boys. We're
never
good
on
boys.
Purpose.
Do you remember the first year of playing Warhammer 10th and we're just yeah, that's how it works. It only worked that way in the 9th edition, Jonny.
Oh man, it was rough. I won't lie, in the last/next episode, I mentioned that I hope there will never be an 11th edition, and part of that is this. I can't relearn the rules again.
Warhammer 40k 11th edition. Even more complicated again.
They're just gonna keep it coming.
Just want to keep it crumping. For this episode, I went back and had a quick look through 9th edition orc rules because sub-faction stuff was more of a thing then than it is now. And hot damn, there's some steps to just everything.
Aren't there always?
Yeah.
We don't go back to 9th edition. It was just too much effort.
I've just popped in to just sort of see what they did to separate the various cultures, but on my way to getting to that part of the rules, I'm like, well, I don't miss all this. Anyway, how's your hobby?
Mate, frankly, because we recorded 2 days ago for the episode that's coming out after this, things are going to be a little weird. I'm not going to lie. So just take whatever I say next week and bring it back to... No.
All right, cool.
No, we played our first game of Crusade on the weekend. It was a lot of fun. I managed to pull out a win against the Death Guard with my Chaos Demons list. And yeah, no, it was good to try and learn a new army, and I was up against Zaki boys, so it was pretty nice to have an opponent that was a bit more forgiving, and we could sit there and be like, oh, I meant to do this, can we take it back? And we're both just giving each other concessions to try and make sure that we learnt our rules, which was good.
Yay!
Because frankly, we both made a few mistakes.
It happens. Don't worry. I managed to convince my opponent to have a halftime break because of just mental overload playing such a game.
Yeah.
I also did my game, and the planet of Nakman successfully hired the Adeptus Sororitas Pest Extermination.
Pest
Extermination Order of the Exterminating Pests. And yeah, we definitely flamed the Tyranids back to their hive mind for a hot minute. That's what happened.
Nice. That's what we want.
And now the Emperor has blessed a lot of our tanks for an upgrade, and they hit even harder now.
Man, you got so much experience. It's silly.
I play the mission, Jonny, which in this case is play the agendas for that sweet, sweet experience points.
I feel like I played it too.
I play video games, and I'm always playing suboptimal builds, and me mates are ahead of me. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And then in this, it's the complete opposite where I'm like, well, if I put this Ephraim squad over here, they're going to get 5 experience points at the end of the game. If I quickly chuck a grenade while, they're over there, I'm going to blow that thing up. I'm going to get an extra 2 experience points. And then everyone's like, how did you do that?
The answer is luck.
The Emperor protects. I keep telling people. They don't believe me.
Hey, everyone. Press those buttons. Subscribe. Come check out the Insta. Get on the Discord. There's a Crusade tab in there now so that you can see what's going on with us as we level up and follow along.
Whoa.
Yeah, right?
I thought that was just for us.
We're the only ones that can edit it and actually post, but it is set to read only for everyone else so that they can follow along and see what's going on.
That's clever.
Yeah, spoiler alert. The whole world can see our Crusade lists.
Oh, no. We don't even play the hot meta freshness, mate.
Nah. Where's the fun in hot meta freshness?
Yeah, that's fair. I don't need to put Canis Rex in my list anymore, so no one's going to have a whinge at me for playing Imperium without him. So I'll be okay. I don't know about you guys, though. Yeah, Canis Rex, he doesn't sustain hits on 5s anymore. So he's not an auto-include.
He's not an auto-include.
It's not an auto-include. He's just the big whack stick now. Still probably good. I think someone worked out he's like 30 to 40% as lethal as he was before outside of a detachment, which gives him back the crits on 5s.
Nice.
Anyway. Yeah, links in bio. Wherever you're listening to the podcast, there'll be a link in the bio. That'll take you to the website. The website has all the links. It has our links to stuff that Johnny's already mentioned. So yeah, get on that, please. And share with your mates. Thanks.
Get on it. Get stuck in.
Get stuck in, lads! All right. You know what that means. It's Orcs time.
It sure is.
Why are we doing Orcs, Johnny? Actually, I already mentioned it at the start of the
It's ORKTOBER.
It's ORKTOBER.
It is time to do the thing that the people do, which is the Orc episode in October. Can't miss out on that. So, what do you got planned for us for an ORKTOBER episode?
All right, you get so neither Johnny or I are like super knowledgeable about orcs, which
this is correct.
May be a not very good thing when doing an orc episode. But we're not going to do a deep dive into orcs today. We're going to do a sort of a shallow swim at the beach of orcs, We're going to take you through the various factions, well, sub-factions that you may see in the lore and the official art/paint schemes, and have a little look about how they are somewhat represented on the tabletop, or more so how they could or should be represented on the tabletop. Might even be referencing some older edition rules, which cared more about official things in the lore. Now it's more broad.
Yep.
We're going to highlight like a culture of the orcs, or a clan, if you will. Having orc clans be spelt with a K gives me a little bit of an ick. So I keep calling them cultures. We're going to talk about a little bit of the culture, the clans, what they represent, what sort of units feed into their style, and what sort of detachment should you play them with if you really want to commit to the bit, and maybe like what they could have in terms of rules either in the past or in the future.
All right, let's do it then.
Do you have any favorites, Johnny?
Oh, I do. You do? I'm a big fan of a lot of the more fun stuff, I'm not going to lie. But tell me, who likes to go fast?
Orcs!
Damn straight they do. No, I really like the pirate guys, the freebooters, as much as we joke about the freebooters.
Oh yeah. What's the joke?
Did you know there was a freebooter codex in 3rd edition?
In 3rd? I swear it was 1st edition.
1st, or wherever the hell it was. But they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, they're the flash gits. We can start with them. So, all right, actually, we shouldn't really start with them. We should quickly touch upon the uniting factor of orcs and what that means for them on the tabletop. Wah!
Yeah, Josh, what are orcs in 40k?
All right, orcs are mushroom people, which, to give a bit more context to that, They are a creation of the old ones. Way back when, before humans were humans, there were space elves and undead robots named the Necrons and the Orcs also. But before the Orcs and the elves were on the scene, the Necrons, as they were becoming robotic and undying as opposed to fleshy and cancer-ridden, them and their Catan star god patrons decided to go wage war on a race called the Old Ones, a bunch of Seraphon from Age of Sigmar looking folks. You can quote me on that. The Old Ones were like, damn, we're outgunned and outnumbered. We need more stuff. And so the Old Ones used their big brain energy to create new races, including the extremely psychically potent elves that could travel the webways. They made the orcs that were actually originally called Kurorks, which were kind of like kaiju-sized orcs, but of a militaristic influence. Large, big Pacific Rimmy suits, huge gun emplacements, that kind of deal. There were other races as well, such as potentially monkeys, but that's not what we're on about today. We're just doing orcs. After the Old Ones and the Necrons resolved that big old conflict, the orcs degraded into orcs from their original Kurorks. Orcs have continued to be a bit of a fungal infection upon the galaxy. Wherever they are, they will probably be there forever. They do not produce from sexy times. They produce from spores. If there are spores, eventually, and sometimes encouraged by the metaphysical presence of fighting, if that makes sense, the spores become baby orcs that then rapidly turn into big orcs, and the longer they survive and fight, the more orcs they attract, and those orcs that have survived the longest become bigger and better and strongest.
Bigger and better and strongest.
Bigger and better and strongest, and then through whatever methods they can do, they might steal things such as spaceships, or they might come up with their own orky ingenuity and craft things such as barely functional rocket-propelled asteroids, and will just, they'll eventually get to where they're going, and then they'll be there forever. There you go. That's orcs in 3 to 4 minutes. How did I do?
Pretty good, pretty good. I now know what an orc is.
Good. Your turn. What's a wah?
A wah? A wah
What's
is
a
when you
wah?
go, wah!
What's a wah? Wah! Wah! Had to get it out.
This is culture. This is how the orcs get all stuck in and fueled up. It's about using their, inherent psychic energy to force each other to go harder, go faster, go bigger and badder. It's weird.
Psychic energy.
Yeah, because all the orcs have, a weird latent psychic shenanigans is the best word for it.
Mm-hmm.
And when orcs get together, you kind of get this, magnetic field of psychic energy that just, enhances everything around them. So they create this, religion around the Wa. It's neat and weird and very autistic.
Oh, okay. And there are various flavors of the Wa, which is represented by a couple of the more extravagant sort of sub-factions. For example, the Speed Wa, as you alluded to, where just got to go fast. Even the jetpack thruster equipped orcs, the Storm Boys, have a thing which they call the Storm Wa, because there's so many of them hurtling through the skies on just industrial turbines that it sounds like a little thunderstorm. So it's the Storm Wa. It's quite good.
Storm Wa.
Storm Wa! But yeah, the Wa in game is a once a game round long effect. When you decide to activate it in the command phase, you actually can choose it. I thought it was in either player's command phase. Anyway, when you do it, all orcs can advance and charge, which means super movement.
Yep.
As well, they add 1 to the strength and attacks characteristics of melee weapons, which they already hit pretty hard. So more attacks is always great, especially on those larger units. And models from the army get 5-up invulnerable save, so a 33% chance to shrug off even a tank shell.
Nice.
So you'll have what the kids call the go turn. You'll set up, you put everything in place, and then you'll crush them as the green tide.
Green Tide, he says. Funny you should mention that. That's one of their detachments.
Well. How about that?
Segue. No, jokes.
Who'd have seen that coming? We're not really going to go deep into
No, I know.
the detachments today. We're not doing a codex review, which, could be fun, but we're doing this instead. There's a couple of detachments that seem to be generic orcs. They're not, particularly one culture or another. And Green Tide is definitely one of them. Their mob mentality rule basically just encourages you to bring all the orc boys. Bring as many orc boys as you can, and you will just flood the board with orc boys.
It's all about them boys,
Yeah. But we have many different cultures. We mentioned Freebooters earlier. We should get them out of the way, I think.
All right. We can start with Freebooters if that's where you wish to start. They are pretty well known in the world of 40k. Like, a lot of people know who the Freebooters are once you explain that they're the pirate ones. So go on, tell us about these Freebooters, Joshy.
Freebooters. They're not necessarily an orc culture or a clan. Actually, they're definitely a culture, but they're not necessarily a clan. Clan is like your Ultramarines or your Craftworld Seiman or your Word Bearers. Very identifiable group of individuals. Cultures is sort of just vibes. It's just more vibes than it is, belonging to a particular sub-faction. And Freebooters are definitely vibes. These guys, well, they're not really guys. They're very masculine, but orcs don't really have gender. They just are. So take of that what you will. Freebooters are rich buggers, and they like to be rich buggers. They like to have the best stuff. They like to have the most money, and they like to be the most extravagant. And when they sort of start to toe out of the hierarchy structure of most of the clans, they're not really well liked for it. A couple of the, senior orcs, the war bosses and the knobs kind of see them as a bit of a threat. Like, what if they want to be the war boss tomorrow, So they kick them out. And freebooters gather from all walks of orky life, and they just form freebooter parties, if you will, and they become pirates, they become mercenaries, they hop on kill cruisers, and they have their, special guns that they smush together. They are led often by captains, and they end up being a little bit of a boys for hire.
Yeah, there are definitely some mercenary vibes going on here.
And they can come from really anything. They could be, mad scientist pain boys. They could be renegade speed freak orcs that are so addicted to the speeds and being in their vehicles, they might just end up fighting their friends, which interrupts the speed war, So they get kicked out. They have, freebooters who are even just turn to chaos a little bit. They have just maybe been a little bit out and about, and then they hear about oi, that corn fella loves a good scrap, doesn't he? And then the rest of the orcs are like, that orc's sick. They're following not our orky religion, but a completely, different religion. We should kind of kick them out, like how insects get rid of sick insects from the colonies and stuff, that kind of thing.
Yep.
That's kind of freebooters.
Nice.
They had a captain named person called Captain Badruck. He is unfortunately consigned to the graveyard that is Legends.
Oh.
And so you really only have the Flash Gits units.
This is correct, yes.
Yeah. But even Captain Badruck, he's done such silly things as helping to defeat a tendril of a major Tyranid High fleet, even fighting off a Norn Queen.
Woof.
Woof. And Boyz are just super reputable. He's got his own custom gun called Da Ripper that has like radioactive ammunition.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And look, if you wanted to play them, you could just put them anywhere, more or less. There are a couple of detachments I think they work better in, which would be the Blood Axe themed Taktikal Brigade, because captains can give orders to make any unit a little bit better. Think a little bit of Imperial Guard, or maybe even the more Dakka detachment RIP, because it's all about the gun.
All about the gun.
What do you think about Freebooters, Jonny?
They're very thematic, but that's about all I can really say for them. Like, I like the idea of pirate orcs in theory, but yeah, nah. I don't think I could collect a whole army of them, you know?
Well, there's not much units to actually collect.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Maybe next edition we get Captain Badruck, a new model. Maybe we get a couple of things that work into flash gits, maybe even a little vehicle for them. Something, that can help vary the fact that they are, flashy, well-equipped individuals. I think, wasn't that one of my picks for our Kill Team episode, like, yonks ago, was
yeah, it sure was.
Freebooters? Yeah. Anyway, do you want to pick our next destination into the clans of the Orc, Jonny?
Sure, let's talk about the first orcs that the Imperium of Man met.
Oh yeah.
The Blood Axes.
The sneaky gits.
The sneaky gits. So these are your commandos if you're using models in game.
It sure is. Do you know about these orcs enough
to
talk about them?
I don't know if I know enough to talk about them, but I could definitely start the conversation. I don't know a lot about many of the orc cultures, to be fair.
Good thing about orcs. Very obvious.
Yeah, these were the first orcs. And, well, at least that the Imperium of Man encountered in their expeditions into the sky. They are your sneaky boys. They like to camouflage. They have picked up a lot of human-like tactics, a lot of hit-and-run, hide, and sneaky stuff. These are your purple orcs in the memes. Your guerrilla tactics. They're also known to trade occasionally with humans, picking up war gear and vehicles, and, doing what they can to try and best their opponents in combat through their sneaky means. Frankly, due to their un-orky vibes of actually interacting with humans in a way that isn't murdering them, a lot of the other clans look down on them, see them as treacherous.
Yeah.
And cowardly, because how dare you stoop to human tactics and interaction?
The humies are not good at war.
The humies are not good at war. They're so soft and squishy. Their icon is 2 red axes with a skull in front of it. It's pretty Blood Axey. Like, there's nothing really going on here that you can't really guess based on what we're looking at, right? But yes, as I said, if you're wanting to play these in game, your representative for this is the Commandos and Mr. Boss Snickrot himself.
I love Snickrot.
I actually think he's really good.
You'll find this guy to be quite the Chad, even in the lore. Do you know much of Snickrot's escapades?
I know nothing about Snickrot's escapades, but I imagine there are a few.
To quickly go over them for your enjoyment, Jonny. Snickrot used to just be like, the personal assassin for just some orc war boss, right? And ended up, getting his first foot in the door in the lore for actually having like ambush off against a bunch of like Catachan jungle fighters.
Oh, that's an interesting matchup, the Catachan versus the Blood Axes.
And it's probably where he got a lot of his personal like tactics from.
Yeah, yep.
But then he was actually, like, he and his boys were one of the first lot to navigate the forests of Armageddon during the Second War.
Of course he was on Armageddon. Everyone was.
Everyone was. But he actually did eventually get a bit cut off from the rest of the orcs, and so it was just like being his own little band of Catachan in the jungles of Armageddon, and was, so potent at being over there and doing that that even like the Armageddon Orc Hunter Guard Regiment that was formed after the Second War, going into the Third War 50 years later, were fearful, like genuinely fearful of the Red Skull Commandos, named for the fact they love scalping.
Ugh.
Yeah. And he's still there. So after a while, once the demons start to emerge onto Armageddon, Snickrot's like getting kind of annoyed that the Imperial and the Orcs are forming like temporary alliances. Like, you remember our Last Chances episode where like the Colonel gets some Orc dudes?
I mean, you do what you gotta do when demons show up.
Yeah, I was really annoyed by this. So anyway, now he's off fighting Arcs of Omen.
Oh. All right. Why not?
This guy doesn't freaking stop.
Nah, that's the Orc motto, right?
But yeah, he's got a couple of blessed knives the length of entire like human arms called Mork's teeth. And he has night vision goggles.
All right. Why not?
All right. There you go. There's no real official Blood Axe unit besides like commandos, but like Freebooters, they go anywhere. But Snickrot is Mr. Blood Axe himself, so I thought I'd give a little bit of info there.
Nah, he's sick.
And you can get him. You can get him as a model, and he looks great.
He sure does.
Came out like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, so he's very modern.
Fairly modern, yeah. He came out with the Orcs Codex?
No, end of 9th. He was an Arc of Omen guy.
Yeah, that checks out.
What a good block of books that was.
What do you got for me next, Joshy? Who do you want to talk about?
Well, I actually have a Blood Axe list if you want to have a quick peek in our chat.
Ooh, you have a Blood Axe list. Let's do it.
So while you have a quick peek at my list there, I'll tell you a bit about Taktikal Brigade, which is the Blood Axe themed detachment. It came out in Grotmus. The Taktikal Brigade, it's themed a little bit around the Astra Militarum's army rule of issuing orders to your units. And so Boss Snickrot, mechs, and Warboss models can issue units to non-battle shocked units, which include rerolling charges, adding one to the strength characteristic of melee, stealth ability, add one to the hit roll if they're doing ranged. Like that, those kind of like boost the numbers by 1 or 2.
Yeah, yep.
They got some really fun enhancements, such as Squad Leader, which a Warboss infantry model can be attached to a commandos unit and gains infiltrators and stealth themselves.
Hold on. Can we talk about the spelling of squad for a second?
Yeah, squad.
SKWAD. Or fucking orcs, man.
When this detachment came out, they never specified infantry part of the Warboss, so people were attaching Warboss on Squigosaur to commandos.
That's incredible.
And it's obviously been
fixed.
Changed.
As intended.
But it was a genuinely very good matchup.
You've got what? A couple of commandos, some flash gits, some storm boys, quite a few epic heroes in Boss Snickrot. We have Boss Zagstruck and Captain Badruck. 2 mechs is huge for 2 vehicles. Yeah,
so I picked, I'll tell you through my thought process. I put Boss Snickrot with a block of 10 commandos for obvious reasons.
Do. Yep.
But Boss Snickrot can uppy downy, so...
Yeah. Yep.
And then I gave a Beast Boss Squad Leader with another block of commandos. Now you can split up commandos into 2 lots of 5 if you need them to. I think the Beast Boss would be fun to just help punch into some lighter vehicles.
Beast Boss can attach to commandos?
With Squad Leader, because he's a war boss.
Yeah. Alright.
Big mech with shock attack gun with the 45-point enhancement Mech Captain, which allows you to re-roll the hit rolls of his unit, if it's a Flash Gits unit. So here is your Captain.
Interesting, yep.
So that's a block of 10 Flash Gits with some seriously deadly firepower, probably riding around in a battle wagon.
In the battle wagon. I love the battle wagon. It's such a cool model.
Oh, yeah. You'll notice a trend with me in battle wagons. I have Captain Badruck from the Realm of Legends to lead another block of 10 Flash Gits, because where else are you going to put him? And I need him in my life. He looks great. I got a
yep.
couple of mechs because they can issue orders, but they are the cheapest of the leader issuing block. A couple of Gretchen for backfield stuff and CP generation. Some Storm Boys because there's an enhancement to put them back into reserves, so you could actually get around the board quite well.
Storm Boys are cool. I like them.
Yeah, and I put the Legends leader Zagstruck in the list as well with his own block of 10 Storm Boys. Boss Zagstruck, unfortunately, he's in the Legends graveyard, but he's really cool. He lost his legs once, and now he has metallic claws called the Vulture's Claws, and his whole shtick is Vulture Squad, part of the Storm War.
Oh my lord.
Oh my lord. And then just for a bit of mounted heft, I have the Snakebitez guy, Mozrog Scragbud, leading a unit of Squig Hog Boys.
Because you need some anti-tank, right?
Oh yeah. That's Blood Axes. Their enhancements, a little bit of like movement shenanigans, reactive moves, a little bit of like sustained hits, lethal hits, that kind of thing.
Yeah, cool.
What do you want to talk about next, Boo?
Oh, I was going to say, you could pick one if you want.
Let's talk about one I don't have a list for.
Oh, yeah?
The GOFFS. The GOFFS. GOFFS. They are the poster boy for the orcs. These are your brutish infantry-based Warhorde detachment-themed orcs. They don't have anything particularly nuanced except they are just the heftiest orcs, you know? They have the strongest arms. They are the most brave and aggressive orcs. And this is Gazkulthrakka's own little orc clan. Not that it's him that started it, but he's part of them.
Yeah. This is, where he lives now. This is your knobs, your big boys, I want to hit my opponent as hard as possible. These are the most violent of the orcs.
Yeah, they got a really cool icon where they have like a horned orc skull as opposed to a regular orc skull.
Yep.
But yeah, they are the toughest and the most brutal.
Damn straight they are.
They've done some pretty interesting things such as the Wars for Armageddon.
Such as the wars?
Such as all the wars for Armageddon. But yeah, they're kind of the go-to for the orcs. If you're a Space Marine fan, they are the dudes who did the invasion of Rin's world, which is where they completely effed up the Crimson Fists in the actual original narrative conflict of the whole game.
All right.
Like first edition Crimson Fist versus the orcs.
Nice.
So they've been around.
They are the oldest of boys.
Yeah, they're not subtle about anything. They are exactly what they say on the tin. They are just orcs, but in rules a little bit stronger. You could play them as Warhorde, which is a sustained hits focused detachment that definitely encourages a bit of a combined arms approach between infantry, a little bit of vehicles. If you put Gazkulthrakka into this, it'll be really fun. Gazkul himself has a bit of a niche detachment in the Bully Boys. You want to tell us a bit about the Bully Boys, Johnny, or shall we call up Ian?
The Bully Boys. This is your double war detachment. But I read into these as the orc infantry units with their lots and lots of boys. They're 20 strong mobs, if you know what I mean, and sending out true hordes of orcs into the opponent's face. And I built a list focused around the Green Tide.
Oh, you did Green Tide. I see.
I did 2 lists, let's be real.
Hey, there's so many flavors. As I said at the start, we do whatever we want now.
Yeah, and this is where I thought of GOFFS as like this. They go to war, and when they go to war, they go to war, you know?
Yeah,
they
that
bring
works
all
very well.
the boys. So I can't just throw up an image for you. But trust me, you don't need it.
Is it boys?
We started this list with 1,000 points of boys.
Oh my god.
There are 120 boys in this
and
list.
And they get like invulns, don't they?
They invulns? No. Not by default.
Yeah.
Do they?
The detachment rule, mob mentality. Each time an attack
because
targets a boys. Yeah.
Yes.
But yes, go on. Lots of boys.
We have 3 war bosses, because we need to have leaders for these boys, you know?
Only 3?
Well, you can only have 3. Give me a
There are other
chance.
war
Give me a
bosses.
chance. No, 3 war bosses.
Like war boss.
The unit
no
war
brackets.
boss.
Yeah.
No brackets. Because this makes all of their boys hit on 2s.
Ooh.
Yep. And using them, I can also add in some enhancements. So one of them has brutal but cunning.
There it is.
We have some CP generation, because you gotta have some CP generation. And we have another one with bloodthirsty belligerence, which I don't think any orc could possibly spell. And this gives them reroll advance rolls and reroll charge rolls while they're in a 10 or more squad.
Yep.
From there, we were like, okay, I need to fill in 3 more boys squads with leaders. So we put in Big Boy Gaz himself, because we needed War Boss number 4. He also gives the +1 to hit, so his unit's also hitting on 2s, but also +1 to wound. Because why not? And then I was like, we got to fill in a little bit more. So how about we make a couple of slightly tankier 20 blobs by chucking in a couple of pain boys so that they can get a Feel No Pain 5.
Oh.
Just to make sure my boys don't die.
Yeah.
This put me with about 300 points left.
Damn.
So, as I said when you were doing your list, we needed a little bit of anti-tank. Because outside of just swarming them with 21 boys, we ain't getting in very easily. Due to the large infantry focus that I have at the moment, I thought, why not have some fun and include a kill rig and a hunter rig?
Oh, I love those.
Just to have, because, man, you can't go wrong with anti-monster, anti-vehicle 2 and anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4.
No, you cannot.
Right? So I was like, okay, cool. Let's just do that. So I just was like, I'll chuck in a couple of rigs, one of each, because I couldn't decide which one I wanted, and let's go from there. And then, just because I had a little bit of points left and there was no reason not to, I chucked in another enhancement on one of the pain boys, which is Raucous Warcaller. So his unit always counts as having 10, no matter what, for the purpose of their army rule and things like that.
Oh.
And I was just like, let's make a green tide list that just rushes our opponent, gunks up the board to the point where your opponent isn't able to accomplish much because there's just that many boys. And boys aren't exactly soft. They all have toughness 5. So they're not exactly hard to kill by default for infantry. And hitting on 2s is not a small feat. And all of the boys also get sticky objectives. So you just rush up the board and lock your opponent off the objectives.
I don't understand why people poop on orcs. They're so good.
It's funny, right? You just don't focus on the fact that they hit it ranged on 5s and you'll be fine. But no, the entire plan is to just completely move up the board, swamp your opponent, and then when everything is starting to look bad for them, you throw a WAAAAAAGH in there and reduce their numbers to 0.
Yep.
The only problem is, I could never in my life paint 120 boys.
Airbrush and washes go brr.
Let alone buy 120 boys, because their kit ain't exactly the best. When it comes to options, it's all monopose crap.
You would be checking out the eBays for that one.
Oh.
The second-hand stuff. People are like, I don't want to do orcs anymore. You're like, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Get them for half price.
because buying 12 boxes of boys would be insane.
I don't know many people outside of like decade-long veterans that would even have that many orcs to play a full Green Tide list anyway.
Yeah, unless they've bought a few starter kits from the last 30, 40 years and they've just got all these boys hanging around,
I have 20 boys from like 6th edition starter set Assault on Black Reach, my first ever box. I got them.
Oh, my lord. I have 0 boys.
They look like crap because I didn't understand why the washes were so runny as a paint.
Or you just 3D print a whole bunch of different boys from different peoples. They're all in different poses.
Who would do that?
How else are you going to make 120 boys without having, 12 of the same boy?
Yeah, I have noticed a slight issue with a couple of your unit picks, though, and it's the rigs, the hunter and the killer rigs. If
Why?
you were to use them as transports, which they definitely
No,
can
they're
be.
not transports.
No, but just hold on. The hunter rig actually does have a capacity of like 20 plus, but it's all locked into beast snaggers.
Beast snaggers. Yep.
Beast snaggers. My boys. These are my boys.
But they don't count as boys for the army rule.
No, but beast snaggers are my boys.
Beast snaggers are cool, don't get me wrong. I just needed something that has some anti-infantry on it and a little bit of movement because it's going to have to move around all these boys.
Yeah.
I considered putting planes in and I was like, I probably shouldn't put planes in because that's complicating things.
Nah, it's not.
Then I have to learn the aircraft rules.
Not that bad. So yeah, we got Green Tide if you want to do Oops All Boys. We've got the War Horde if you want to do a bit of a mixed arms approach or a generalist approach.
Focused. Yep.
And we got Bully Boys, which is if you want to be like our good friend and focus around basically like the elite infantry, the mega armor,
Mega knobs,
the mega knobs, the knobs, the big war bosses, all the stratagems, much like the Green Tide for Boys. In Bully Boys, it's all knobs and mega knobs. Like literally every stratagem says knobs or mega knobs.
Yep. My question to you is there a clan that is representative of mega knobs?
So here's where it gets a little bit like confusing. There are a couple of the classic 6 to 7 orc clans that have a bit of a poorer representation on 10th edition tabletops, and that's both the Bad Moons and the Deathskulls. But you could easily put either of these into a few of the detachments that exist. The Bad Moons are the yellow colored orcs. If GOFFS are black and Blood Axes are purplish camo, then the Bad Moons are yellow. They are considered the most richest orcs, which means they have the best armor and the best guns.
And the most teeth.
Orc currency is the teeth. They grow back really quickly. So in like previous editions, you would have basically longer range on Bad Moon guns. If you were critting on things, you would increase like AP on the guns.
Yeah, they just have the better stuff.
Yeah, they were a bit more gun focused, which actually was exactly what more Dakka was meant to appease. Or that's the word. Represent. I know English. The more Dakka freebie download a couple of months back detachment was pretty obnoxious when it released. It was killing custodians without much of a fuss, which is scary because it brought tournament level orc win rates up to like the 70s in percent win rate, which is outlying to say the least.
Yeah, it took it to a point where they were banning the detachment from tournaments.
Yeah, it was just too broken. Now it's toned down a bit. I think a couple of the stratagems lost a bit of their synergy from what it used to be, but it's still guns. It's guns and orc walkers. A little bit.
A bit?
I don't remember what the original was, to be honest.
This copped the over nerf treat. It was so strong. They made it never playable again.
I don't know what I would do for this list. I never really looked too intensely at the previous iteration of this detachment. But if I was to just, like right now, look at the detachment, I see it gives your infantry and walkers assault. It gives them sustained hits. There are some enhancements for things like rapid fire, fall back and shoot. So it's definitely gun focused. In casual settings, you should be okay. But yes, more Dakka did receive nerfs of the army rule, stratagems, and certain shooty orcs point nerfs. It was not fun.
I think the big problem is you have a shooty focused detachment in an army where everything by default is hitting on 5s. And the way that they balanced it out in the original one is they gave all the guns sustained hits too, which allowed you to actually like get somewhere with these 5-ups to hit.
Mathematically, it makes you hits on 3's army, though.
Essentially, yes.
If you're doing sustain hits 2. Sustain hits 1 makes you a 4s. That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's just not great.
Yeah. But that's Bad Moons for the edition. A little underwhelming. We do have also Deathskulls. If Bad Moons are yellow, Deathskulls are blue. These are kind of a superstitious lot, but they're also kind of like the thieves, the merchants, the vultures on the battlefield looking out for, stuff they can loot from the dead. They're not great orcs. Not many orcs like working with them, but they are also probably like amongst the most well-equipped, and they tend to like a bit of a vehicular focused one because they're a little bit cowardly and like to hide behind things like the walkers, and their mechs making some cool stuff. And like even like one of their older stuff like had like warlord trait opportunist, the Fixer Uppers relic, which was about making enemy vehicles worse or something like that. And in the current edition, we could probably have a look at the Dread Mob detachment, which is just mech and vehicles focused. There's not a whole lot for orc infantry, but this is definitely the most Deathskulls focused.
For sure, and leaning into the Gretchen as battle line as well really leans into Deathskulls Gretchen focus.
Oh yeah.
But blue is the lucky color.
Turns out.
So Deathskulls paint themselves blue because, as you said, they're superstitious AF. These guys are also looters. In previous editions, there was a lot of looted vehicle options, so you could run some of the Militarum vehicles in your list as looted options. That isn't really in 5th edition.
That's true.
10th edition. 10th edition. Wow. Okay. But we do still have looters, so they do still have some representation in the game.
But even this detachment specifies grot vehicles, which is just killer cans and mech guns. They also used to have a bit more options as well, like small tanks for the orcs.
Yeah, which was cute, to say the least. I think Dread Mob is the correct detachment to say Deathskulls.
Yeah, a few of these, people like them mainly for the whole like colors approach, and then as they play them a bit more, obviously they pick up a bit of the lore. It's game first, lore second for most people. And then over like, a couple years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, people like really grow an attachment to their yellow or blue painted orcs and thematic lists. So I understand if people are a little bit sad this edition, but I've seen Dread Mob be played. More Dakka was good for 2 months. Like they're still here in spirit.
But I also remember like when Dread Mob came out, I got so excited for it. It's a really fun looking detachment.
Yeah, you made a list straight away, didn't you?
Yeah. Like it is fun, and that is the key thing with orcs is while they might not be so competitive focused right now, all of their detachments are fun. All their stuff is just fun to play, and that feels very orky, which does bring me into the next one I want to talk about, because it's finally time. We got to talk about the Evil Sunz.
Evil Sunz.
Because the red ones go faster.
From the wolf riding grots in Age of Sigmar, right?
Yeah, those ones. No, we're talking biker boys, buggy boys, and their small sub-faction, the Fly Boys.
Yeah, so we have the Cult of Speed, which is, leaning into the cultures side of things, with the speed freaks being vehicular focused orcs, but the Evil Sunz is a clan of red painted orcs that bring all this up to 11. Why are they red, Jonny?
Because the red ones go faster.
Noticing a theme with colors, everybody?
Yeah, man. Because the orcs are just toddlers, but with knives.
We didn't really touch upon orcs' power of belief, did we?
No, because frankly, if you know who the orcs are, you know it, and there's a lot of fan service that makes it very difficult for me to tell what is legit.
Yeah.
But there is theories that the orcs' psychic presence, when enough of them gather or believe in the same thing, can cause their beliefs to become true.
Yep, such as red goes faster, purple sneakier, blue is lucky.
Yeah, and just because so many orcs believe this, there is this inherent truth to it. But then, as I said, there's a lot of fan service and weird stuff out there where people have written about Imperial guards taking advantage of this and yelling bang when they ran out of ammo and orcs just falling over dead, because they believe they still have bullets. Like there's a lot of weird stuff out there that makes it hard for me to tell what is true or false.
My favorite one is the belief that the orcs know about the Emperor, and so the Emperor of mankind is kept alive because the orcs think he is.
Yep.
That's my favorite one. That's the most far-fetched one, but it's my favorite one.
The evil Sunz.
Speed, wah, gotta go fast, wah, wah, vroom, vroom, bitches.
Damn straight, this is bikes and cars and planes and everything that goes fast. These guys are the Mad Max of the orcs.
Yay.
And honestly, like, this detachment as well that this focuses on, which is the Speed Freaks detachment, looks like a lot of fun as well. It's a good little blast. The orc vehicles are all really weird. None of them do what you think they're gonna do. They're all just kind of weird and wacky, but they look so cool.
Cha-ching. I got a vehicular list in our chat for you to have a look at and compare to yours.
Ooh. And compare to mine, because I also built a Speed Freaks list.
Hell
Not gonna lie.
No, it's good. I had to go with these guys because they contain my all-time favorite orc unit, which is Deathskulls.
Oh, you're a big fan of the Deathskulls, are you?
Yeah, I think it has something to do with, when I was a young lad and got the Assault on Black Reach, there were Deathskulls. And I think there was just something about like that unit in particular. Like there was enough realism to an attack helicopter, but there was enough fantasy being a scrappy orc vehicle that it was really easy to sort of remember and reflect on that unit. And when they re-sculpted them into what they are now, it's how I remembered them being. And so I was really excited to see them again.
Yeah, your list definitely has some changes to my list, I won't lie, which we will discuss.
Yeah.
But there are some similarities.
Is it the fact that there are some vehicles in there?
There's vehicles in my list too.
So yeah, gotta go fast, vehicular focus. Interestingly, I find that a lot of the vehicles are actually quite cheap. So if you wanted to go into this force, you might actually have to fork out, for once, a fair bit of money for a vehicle-focused army, because they're not that expensive in game to run.
This is correct.
Yeah. I only put 4 of the classic Speed Freak cars in, because I'm like, oh my god, they're like 70 points, but they're like $100.
Yeah, right?
Tell me about your list and how you sort of approach building a Speed Freaks army to what Jonny likes.
Okay, so part of it is rule of cool, and part of it is cool is rule. I was reading through the Speed Freaks detachment and the different vehicles that count as Speed Freaks, and there were a couple that stood out to me overall, both in design and appeal. One got me very excited, and I just couldn't figure out how to break it as much as I wanted to. So I started with the vehicles. I started with the Speed Freaks. So, as you did, I do have 2 squads of war bikes.
Oh, cool.
Both 6 mobs.
Both 6s? Okay.
With Death Killer war trikes.
Yeah, the speed bosses.
Because he's such a cool little model. And yeah, these are the speed bosses. But where you went with the Waz Blaster, I went with the Squig Hide Tires.
Oh, yeah.
To just help them get in. From there, where you focused on the buggies, I put 3 planes in.
Good. All Dakka jets?
I put in, 1 Dakka jet, 1 Blitzer bomber, and 1 Waz Bomb Blaster jet.
I love the names, dude.
It's the best part. From there, I was like, okay, we're building flyboys from here. So I also put in 2 Deathcopter squads. Just 3 mobs, though, unlike your 6s. Because I was like, that's a lot of airplanes and stuff flying around.
Can't believe you're doing a storm war on me.
And then I chucked in 2 shock jump dragsters. Because uppy downy shenanigans and being able to move around the board seems very good for objective monkeys. These guys are cool.
Where do you find Wazbomb Blaster Jet? Which model is it?
All of the planes are 1 model.
Oh, okay.
They're all in 1 box.
Okay. I was thinking, no, they disconnected them.
No, they're all in the 1 box. From there, I was like, cool, that's a lot of vehicles and more planes than anyone should ever run.
Yep.
So I needed some stuff on the ground. So I put in a couple of Boyz mobs just to try and like fill out objectives, hold some points while everyone's running around doing their thing. I chucked in a squad of commandos with Boss Snickrot, again to just accomplish the ground objectives, do some shenanigans, but I couldn't pass up doing a couple of Storm Boys, because I gotta go fast, you know?
Obviously.
So I did put in 2 mobs of Storm Boys. So there is a surprising amount of like infantry running around in this bikes list. And then I put in 4 Squidhog Boys, mainly because they are mounted. So they're still going fast, even if they're not speed freaks. We really leaned into the gotta go fast mob here. And frankly, I still had points to spare at this point. It's insane, as you said, how cheap a lot of these speed freaks units are. So I put in 1 squad of Gretchen, just to try and fill out some points.
4 Gretchens.
And to protect the 3 mech guns that can sit on my home objective.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get those bubble chuckers in there and get some ranged fire in. And that's my whole list. It's a lot of stuff for 2,000 points, frankly.
I think so. That's a cool list. I like it.
It is 17 units.
Wow.
And 3 characters. Like, it's a lot of stuff running around. Will it get blown off the board like turn 1 and 2? Probably. But will I have a blast on turn 1 and 2? Yes.
I also have like 18 units. It's crazy how cheap some of these things are.
Right? So you focused a little bit more on the cars.
From.
And kept your 2 mechs in from your last list, along with your battle wagon.
I love my battle wagon.
So what do you got? You got a custom booster blaster, a boom Dakka snaz wagon, a Megatrack scrap jet, which I think is my favorite of the buggy vehicles. It looks so cool. And the Rucker truck squig buggy.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out which one would be like better for a list, but overall I thought it'd be fun to just have one of each, and then through like actually playing it, see if you like any of them in particular to get more, and maybe filter some stuff out or into the list. Each of the cars do something pretty neat, such as like an aura to -1 hit, suppression effect, an auto advance effect. Like there's a lot of cool little buff debuff mechanics, mainly debuffs, that I thought were pretty neat for this, lot of units. You don't see them very often, that each sort of fast-moving vehicle can then go and suppress a unit or tow into melee just to spew up dust clouds because they keep drifting everywhere, and then the opponent can't see it as -1 to hit. But yeah, I focused on a couple of...
So, why didn't you take the 5th one?
Didn't fit.
Oh, okay.
It also was the one I liked the least.
Oh, wow, okay. I thought it has such a unique ability that I was like, yeah, I have to take it.
I mean, you could definitely put them in. I just didn't want to give up my double Deathcopter block.
No, you just take out something else. Fine.
If I were to take out something else, probably just take out half of my flash kits. I tried to sort of blend my list together a little bit. So I got a big mech with speed makes right, which makes some CP generation. With a flash kit mob in a truck, just for a couple of infantry shooty effect. Another big mech with flash kits to hop into like a battle wagon, or whichever one goes for it. Battle wagons are fun. They have a lot of war gear options. If you don't need 20-something boys in the truck, you can change up how it's actually built so that it becomes tougher at the cost of transport capacity. So there's some neat interactions. I got a squad of tank busters that will ride around in one of these transports, just hop out and blow up a vehicle with a hammer. Couple of mechs to heal up and buff vehicles. The Deathcopters and the Warbikers are just annoyingly tough, fast-moving units to harass opponents with. Probably a bit of a distraction Carnifex, if I'm being honest. Like, those Deathcopters will be quite tricky to actually get through, but people will think, oh, it's just an orc on a helicopter. How hard is it going to be to take those down?
Yeah, for sure.
The answer is it's quite hard, because if you're having 6 of them at T6, 4 up save, 4 wounds, every time they move over a unit, you can roll D6 for each model in your unit, doing a mortal wound, and they move 12. So you could do on average 3, 4 mortal wounds just by flying over something. That's fun.
Sure is.
Sure is.
So, we're obviously not going to talk about all of them, but I feel like there is one, I guess, culture of orcs we haven't really discussed much yet that we should touch on.
It's actually the last of the major ones anyway. Like, you don't have to be sad if we miss any. We're not really after this last one.
And who's that?
The Snakebitez, my boys. Yeah,
Snakebitez.
Imagine feral orcs. Feral orcs are a little bit caveman-y. They have sort of a tribalistic, melee-focused approach with tattoos and axes and shaman weird boys that do powers and deny other powers of your opponents. And they have like a mounted focus with squigs and squigosaurs, like big beasts of burden. And a lot of their weaponry, for whatever reason, are like laced with melter charges and the like. So they're all like anti-vehicle monster with a whole shtick in their detachment of having the big hunt.
The big hunt.
They focus like a command oath a moment vibe, like every round to choose a monster vehicle or character and just go for it. Extra AP, re-rolling charges, some really fun stratagems such as drag it down, which is sustain hits 1, but if it's your prey, it's crits on 5s instead of 6. There's a lot of like tier 2 of the stratagem if it's the prey. Yeah, like reactive moves, uppy downy.
These guys are some absolutely gorgeous models too.
Yeah, this faction or sub-faction, before I ended up having some Sororitas models to influence me, and before we actually were doing this podcast, these guys were actually my contender for my next army. Believe it or not.
Focusing around the beast snagger boys.
I love Snakebitez so much that I even have made like my own like personal homebrew Snakebitez clan that I call Da Diesel Boys.
Da Diesel Boys.
Da Diesel Boys! My headcanon for them is that they were kind of like abandoned on like a factory world that had a bunch of like reactor leaks, and so they've just been gorging on like radiation while the whole society of the planet degrades, and so they become feral, but they also have a little bit of like vehicle inspiration, and they're like the veins of their body is like radioactive green. It's fun. Icky. For the sake of this episode and doing a snakebite list, I have just focused on pretty much just beast snaggers. And I went with pure aggression, Johnny. Pure aggression. Check out that list.
Oh, shall we?
Pure aggression. There's like
this list seems significantly smaller.
than the speed.
There's a lot less units in this list.
I do not intend to wait for 5 battle rounds to kill my opponent with this mob.
You are not wrong.
I gotta go home after 2. Let's wrap this up. That's the idea.
Guys, I only have an hour. Let's get a game
I
in.
only have an hour, and I'm versing knights. Good night. So, I do have the man, the myth, the legend, Ghazghkull Thraka himself in a battle wagon with the knobs, and you might be thinking, Gaz, he's not very Snakebitez, but, well, here's the thing. He doesn't need to be, because he's got himself a really fun little aura, while the friendly orcs units within 12 inch of his little dude Makari, they have lethal hits. And there's a stratagem in this detachment that gives sustain hits. And if it's a prey, you crit on 5s. So, and then even with the battle wagon, I have completely kitted it out to be with the ARD case. So it's actually a T12 model, and it has enough capacity for Gaz and his friends, because since the last balance slate, Gaz's transport capacity has lessened. So you can fit him and the knobs in a smaller wagon. The wagon's got kill cannons and wrecking balls and death rollers. And because he's T12, that's 12 dice to roll on a tank shock.
Excuse me?
Battle wagon's normally T10, but if you go for the ARD case, you get him up to T12.
Nice.
Yeah.
T12 is huge for a transport.
Oh, yeah. And it's loaded with guns. It's got like 4 big shooters. It's going to have the kill cannon. And then the knobs rather than mega knobs, because if your strength is higher than their toughness for that unit when you're attacking them, it's -1 to the wound. You get the Dark Angel thing.
Yeah, so they're just harder to kill.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Outside of this battle wagon, what else are you running?
Well, now we get into just beast snagger stuff. I got a beast boss on Squigosaur with Surly as a Squigoth enhancement, because if you're putting a beast boss with a maxed out squad of 8 Squighog boys, you want them to survive a little bit, and Surly as a Squigoth also does the -1 to wound if you're stronger than they are tough for the unit.
Nice, yep.
And whilst beast boss on Squig leads the unit, you can add 1 to the charge rolls. If you're targeting a prey, you're re-rolling your charge rolls. The beast boss gives the unit heroic intervention for 0.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, so they're going to get into like the deployment zone or a flank like incredibly quickly with their, 10-inch movement, reroll charge. They could potentially nail a 13-inch charge if you roll high. Following that, I got the epic beast boss on Squigosaur, Mozrog Scrugbud.
Oh, and the big white Squigoth?
He has a very interesting ability called Da Bigger Day Is ...
The harder they fall.
Yeah. Whenever he targets a monster or vehicle, you actually add 1 to the damage. But if it's a Titanic unit, you add 2. So his his Gut Ripper would be like 6 attacks, potentially damage 5, anti-vehicle 4 into knights.
That's a lot of stuff.
And all those Squig riders, the jaws of the Squigs are extra attacks with dev wounds.
With dev wounds?
Well, sorry, Mozrog is. Let me check normal Squig hogs. Okay, no, they're just extra attacks. Don't worry.
It's just a big chomper.
Yeah. So Mozrog's there to go for very particular targets, whereas the normal beast boss is just to be a frickin' nuisance. I have the beast. Yep. I have a beast boss with Scrag every stash, leading 20 beast snagger boys, which fits into a hunter rig.
Yeah, it does.
And the hunter rig gets more attacks depending on how many boys are inside it, up to a max of 6, not 20, sorry. But that would be hilarious. The hunter rig, like all the Squig stuff, has extra attacks on everything. So it's got like butcher boys attacking off the wagon. It's got the horns and hooves of the Squig. It's got the saw blades mounted to the sides of the vehicle. It's crazy, and it's going to deliver that 21 block of beast snagger boys wherever it feels like it. Scrag every stash is a command phase sticky. With that many boys, you might even be tagging 2 objectives at once. And then I have another squad of beast boss leading beast snagger boys, only 10, because that's what fits into a kill rig. The kill rig has an ability called the Spirit of Gork, because it's got a weird boy on the back of it. And you can select in the fight phase an orc unit within 12. You might end up mortal wounding them, but if you don't, you add 1 to the strength of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit. But if you roll 6, they also gain lethal hits.
Ooh.
So, yeah. And it has one of my favorite abilities in one of its weapons, the Sticker Cannon. It's an anti-monster 2-up, vehicle 2-up with a unique keyword called snagged. Snagged means that that unit has to do an extra 2 to make its charge roll. Oh, sorry, it's -2, I guess, to charge roll, and they cannot fire Overwatch while they're snagged.
Snagged is the kill rig gets +2 to charge it.
Oh, sorry, I read that very quickly, my bad.
Yes. And yes, the enemy cannot fire Overwatch at the bearer. Kill rig gotta go in.
If you're doing the hunter rig and not the kill rig, you're going to end up with enough parts to make, I believe it's the Warboy. Yes, the Warboy, the beast snagger version of the Psyker.
Yep.
Like, even he has a mortal wound psychic bomb, and he says on his ability that if he lands it, the enemy is confrazzled. And while it's confrazzled. And while a unit is confrazzled, they battle shock at -2 because they're confrazzled.
Because they're confrazzled. What a word.
Yeah, I would love to put one of those in, but I just didn't.
Ran out of points.
I just ran out of points. It's exactly 2,000
Ooh.
because that second beast boss also has proper killy, which gives him extra damage. So he's damage 3 on his weapons.
Oh, okay, yep.
So, yeah, what's surviving this, Johnny?
Man, not vehicles.
Not vehicles. Yeah, I had to gush about my favorites right there. Hope you enjoyed that little list of lethality.
It's terrifying. It's not a lot of units on the board.
No, you don't have to run like this much stuff. I would probably consider lessening maybe the Beast Snagger boys 20 block and adding some Gretchen for like some CP. But honestly, besides that, maybe not much else.
You also have the option to just split the boys.
Yeah, you could, but I really like the idea of 21 boys hopping out of a rig.
Oh, I totally understand. I just say, like, if you needed to, you could split the boys.
Definitely.
If you needed more units.
Definitely. I don't really play with these max unit sizes, so it kind of excites me until I, do it, and I'm like, oh, that was too many boys.
You're like, oh, I gotta move all these models.
Whoops.
Me with Green Tide.
Oh yeah, that would be a long game. That's like all of the major clans, Johnny. There are like rules in the past for like specialist mobs and minor cultures. Like you could have given in the past special abilities to things like sneaky gits, mad boys, truck boys, fly boys, boom boys, big Krumpers. A lot of the vehicles had custom jobs rules where you can sort of tune them up and add little characteristics to them like an RPG. I think there's some of that still in the 10th edition Crusade rules.
Maybe. I haven't looked too deep into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of like unique little things like that comes and goes. But yeah, we got the GOFFS, the Speed Freaks, which is the Evil Sunz, Deathskulls, Bad Moons, Freebooters, Snakebitez, Blood Axes. That's 7, right?
Something like that. Yep.
Cool. Orcs.
But yeah, that's Orcs. We did our ORKTOBER episode.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Umies.
And I think it's about time we started to wrap this up, I believe.
Yeah, we don't have much else to really talk about, do we?
Nah, that's it.
All right,
so,
Johnny. Take us away.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll do it. No.
Talkings for Umies.
Make sure that you're subscribing, sharing, let someone know about this program if you like it. We want to spread and love and get people moving. Make sure you paint your damn models.
Put that on a shirt.
Games Workshop has just revealed that they're doing submissions for their Armies of Parade officially online and stuff like that. So if you haven't got it in yet, you're running out of time. Right, Josh?
Yes. Speaking as well of new announcements, Ultramarines just got announced the Combat Patrol and it sucks ass. But
it's yet another Space Marines box.
It'll be a temp thing. The Imperial Fist and the Salamanders recently had this sort of ping on their thing while stocks last. So people are like having FOMO.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, they're doing FOMO on like Reddit and stuff.
FOMO combat patrols. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, it sucks that the discount box is going away, and like you couldn't order it online. But it's like all those units you can just get.
I know, but discount boxes are good.
Yeah, you want to keep them,
and some of them were very good.
Yeah, the Iron Hands. I can't wait to come out. It looks great.
All right. Well. We'll see you all next time.
I didn't even tell you the funny thing.
What?
So the upgrade transfers for the Ultramarines. Did you see it?
Not closely, but I did see it.
Okay. Well, there's a couple of swords in there. Do you know what the name of that sort of style of sword is? And not just like the 40k thing, but like the real world name for that style of kind of broad blade, short sword kind of thing?
Top of my head.
You see it in a lot of the Ultramarine like leaders and iconography of having these sort of shorter broad swords. Well, my friend, that is called a gladius.
Oh my lord.
Oh my god.
Gladius.
Yeah.
Go with that task force.
Oi, I'm off to go beat up Umies and Ultramarines because they suck.
The Romans need a gladius.
I think the Roman iconography is sick, but We need some
So do
more
I, but it's still
love.
Smurfs.
Give me more freebooters. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.